However, as renewal gains momentum, those whose conduct is in conflict with our values and principles, the criminals, the corrupt, the careerists and factionalists, and those who actively work against the organization will find themselves outside the ANC. Some of these elements, including former leaders of the ANC, have through their pronouncements and actions clearly and unambiguously placed themselves outside the ANC through violation of its constitution, the solemn contract between the organization and its members, by, I quote, standing in an election for local and provincial or national government, or acting as the election agent or canvasser of a person standing in such election for any political party in opposition to a candidate duly endorsed by NEC or PC, close quote. These members have, in the eyes of ANC members and society, effectively, quote unquote, constructively resigned or expelled themselves from the ANC. Notwithstanding this reality, the ANC is committed to the rule of law and following the processes set out in the ANC constitution, including disciplinary processes. However, the leadership of the ANC is also committed and duty-bound to act responsibly in safeguarding the life and property of its members and the people of South Africa and the integrity and stability of the electoral process. The Constitution of the ANC enjoins the NEC and the Secretary General's office to respect the integrity and independence of the National Disciplinary Committee and to take all steps necessary to support its work, including ensuring the safety of its members. In pursuance of this duty and based on an assessment of the security situation prevailing at Luthuli House, the Secretary General's office was advised that activities that have the potential to attract large gatherings that might result in violent or disruptive behavior are not advisable, especially close to election day. This is exacerbated by the activities of certain political parties in organizing demonstrations and sit-ins at Luthuli House, disguised as neutral people, but within those marches and the sittings that have happened here, we have identified political parties which have organized such destructive activities along our building at Luthuli House. And we have taken steps legally to correct that particular situation. And we will further take steps even to the Electoral Commission to expose these activities of some of these political parties. It was in this context that the NDC was requested to be mindful of these concerns and consider holding in abeyance any disciplinary proceedings that require in-person meetings at Luthuli House until the 2024 elections. The ANC-led alliance and the broad progressive movement remains the only reliable force that is capable and that has a tradition of uniting and working with various social forces. We will do better, we will do more, and we'll do it faster together. Thank you. Thank you very much for the questions. First, Zoleka, SABC, timing of action against JG Zuma. The events around Jacob Zuma have been very fluid and ever-changing, rapidly so. From the announcement of voting for MK to now becoming something else, leading the party, so to say. So they've been rapid. In between that, we need to remind you about the decisions the ANC have taken. The National Executive Committee, in its last meeting, before we launched our campaign, took a decision which we announced in public, that we invoke a rule in our constitution to formally take action against Jacob Zuma. And that led to the action of him being suspended as a member. Him being suspended, that means that the disciplinary processes kick in. And that means that within 30 days, you will have been given a charge sheet, which that has happened, within 6 months, he must have been taken to task and explain himself before the DC in terms of the ANC constitutional prescripts. And that is underway. Nothing has changed. And from that point, it meant that Jacob Zuma is no longer a member of the ANC. He's under suspension, as it is. So the DC acts on its own in terms of implementing and undertaking the task of dealing with people who are alleged to have brought the party to disrepute one way or the other. And that's what they have undertaken, independent from all of us, which the NDC is the structure of the ANC and independent in terms of executing its mandate. So they've done that. Absolutely correct, within their right and their mandate. And that is what has led to the disciplinary case that is supposed to sit on Tuesday. So that's the first question I wish to clarify, that timing and action has actually been informed by Jacob Zuma himself in terms of how he behaves and how he moves in terms of his conduct as an individual member of the ANC, so to say. I've clarified the issue of we don't entertain in the ANC gossip and leakages. That a meeting was intercepted and President made remarks, and those remarks are now interpreted meaning that it's interference with press freedom. It's taking matters too far. What people discuss behind corridors of their own political parties is their own independence, and it must be respected as such. You can therefore not second guess what the president said and want to interpret it to meaning something that it did not mean. Let me explain to you. When we discuss, we look at the landscape and the political coverage in the country. Every political party, even small, they are concerned about how they get covered. So that's why political parties engage with media houses about how they get covered. And the ANC, as the largest political party in this country, I'm sure in your newsrooms you've got a difficulty how to cover us. We are not a one-man party. It's difficult to cover the ANC, and I'm sure you get complaints that you are favoring the ANC. But it's the nature of the political landscape in the country. The ANC is the largest political party. You can't help it. It's not. Today, as I'm speaking here, leaders of the ANC, including leaders, and other people are now crying foul. Why are former leaders helping the ANC? I mean, if Tony Leon tomorrow decide to campaign like he does for the DA, will I say, well, why? If he decides to defend the DA, will I say why? He's a leader of the DA. Our leaders have never crossed to another point except the one that you know, who has taken us on. And he's got a difficulty to explain that decision. He's contradicting himself every day about the decision he has taken to challenge the ANC as a former leader of the ANC. He's alone in that pedestal with members of the ANC, some of them who have left because they believe in him as a person. But ANC leaders at any given point in time will stand up on their own up until Nelson Mandela. Remember when Nelson Mandela went to Eastern Cape, and then you journalists said he was frail. And then he said there, Mandela, when he spoke, and then he said, Inkosi yethu ngumsholozi, nguye osikhokhelayo ngoku, sonke we are behind Jacob Zuma. He came to Siyanqoma rally to endorse the ANC. And then you said the ANC went to fetch Mandela when he was frail at home and all of that and so on. And so that was not the issue. So the question is that ANC leaders have always supported the ANC at any given point in time, and they cannot be judged by anyone about standing for the party and supporting the movement. The trademark case is on course in terms of being taken on appeal, and it will be placed on the court roll soon. as we have been granted permission by the Durban High Court to actually appeal if we want to. And we have decided to appeal. And I've announced that point to you. Kenny, with regard to security concerns, what informed that? I mean, security concerns come from the state side and even our own security. And it's not up to me to reveal that, but to act, because we've got all the information. So we have informed the NDC, you are independent, and therefore we ask this matter be put in abeyance, because we don't want something that happened in the past, like when the DA came here, and then there was violence. It was minimum, and this one can be big. So we have stopped that, because the ANC disciplinary processes are internal processes. So the NDC is independent, but is a structure of the ANC. And if you read the ANC constitution, you will see there what is the role of the Secretary General of the ANC. I've communicated that decision of the officials to the NDC that this matter must be put in abeyance. Of course, there are people who say, no, Zuma must be taken on and all of that. We understand that. So nobody says the DC must be put in abeyance, but the time of it must happen at a particular time. So the DC will continue, and it is absolutely within the framework of the ANC constitution. So nothing is in violation of the ANC constitution. Neither are we interfering with it. So that is the case, and the DC is fully supported by the National Executive Committee, as communicated by the Secretary General to the chairperson of the National Disciplinary Committee. So there is no conflict between us and the NDC. I'm doing the job that I'm expected to undertake by the constitution of the ANC, working and interacting between structures, units of the ANC to communicate ANC instructions. Some of these decisions are instructions. They are not negotiable. Each president served the ANC. There are challenges and failures and all of that. And then they also had achievements. But when we have witnessed the biggest setback in our struggle, no doubt, is in the past 20 years. And in the past 20 years, the ANC have admitted in the last election that we have veered off and we are on the process of renewal. So it's a matter of principle. That issue is on our manifesto. And that is why people have returned us. And our commitment to renewal itself is what has renewed people's confidence and hope in the African National Congress. So there is no differentiation in terms of leaders. But the fact of the matter is that in the past 20 years, that's when we have seen major setbacks. And the image of the party battered, you know, in a way that you could not, compare it to anyone on issues of corruption, state capture, and all of those things. So those things came up, and we are addressing those issues. The last point is Zuma signatory to the ANC. What I know is that I'm the Secretary General, so I'm the second signatory of the ANC. I was elected in a conference. So if Zuma was elected in 1991, I don't know, the constitution of the ANC says he's a signatory for life. I've seen that circulated, so I don't want to respond to speculations. We will wait till people who are raising those issues on social media come to us with their madness. So we'll see it at that time. But I'm not going to respond to faceless social media distraction. The ANC is known as a party in South Africa. It has been contesting elections, successive elections. It has never been a property of an individual. And then leaders of the ANC get to change from time to time. So that is it. Now, if people believe in their madness, that they've got a case that they want to advance, including deregistering the ANC, we'll deal with it when it comes to us at that moment. Thank you very much.